Hello and welcome to episode 16 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough. Here in cycle 28, day 9 with the Iron Teeth faction. Last time we started the process, very late in the episode, of moving our water pumping up to the reservoir, which is, again, the entire reason this exists, to free up land for the cultivation of crops and centralize stuff, as well as, in addition to doing that, a little bit of theory crafting, designing on what has been heralded in the comments as an quote-unquote abomination of an apartment building. And I guess not a lot of people think this looks super interesting, which I guess is fine. But we'll see what we're able to take care of in terms of getting this to work and actually start construction. But that is not something we need to immediately address so much as the crisis with our water is shaping up to be. And there's been a bunch of thoughts levied about, levied, get it, water, about how this is set up here. Interestingly, among them, a couple people said, hey, this needs to be one thing shorter, so you don't have this empty space, but consider the following. Anyone remember those Bill Nye episodes where they said that? Anyway, consider this. Now I have Orange Crush stuck in my head. I swear, it has been a long day. But consider this. No references this time. When this was put in place, I had to leave space for all the straws. And the primary reason this was blown up was so that we could have the overhang actually attached to something. Sheesh. Man, my mind is going all sorts of places today. But if I made it one shorter, all that would happen is one of the straws would just not have any depth to it. You don't want that. It's like, all right, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Oh, you can flip the building. Yes, correct. I can. But then what happens when I stack these to where I've got another set right here interlocking? It's going to be there. You know, there is a reason I did it this way. Although I appreciate you guys looking out. I'm always going to be appreciative of that, but rest assured, there is a reason I did it this way. There's a very good reason, and that is, that's what that is. So I will not be putting this here. I will be putting it, well, now I got to flip it back. Here and here, they interlock very nicely, and then we're going to have 4 of these really, really close together. And what that's going to allow us to do is have paths connect everything nicely. Again, the reason I'm taking this all the way out here is so I can put more in later, should I so choose. But then on the end, I've got room to put some small tanks. Set those right like so. And then, since we are kind of far away, well, we will be once all this is moved from all of our food stuff, I was thinking it would be a smart idea to have a couple of warehouses just for some high-quality food, like our rations, perhaps. So we got algae rations, we got corn rations right there. And then maybe I could put in a scratcher here. And yeah, I am like 99% sure these used to be a lot taller, but what do I know? Anyway, that's going to get put there. Going to prioritize the buildings by haulers, and then of course these are going to have to be set to supply, while these will be set to obtain. And that's what we were working with there. So, get this on triple speed. Other stuff worth discussing is I've been trying to figure out how to do overflow protection on this reservoir, but I forgot that I can just close it when it gets full. And then everything will be shoved this way. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I have no idea why that was not something I considered. So, thank you to those of you who, you know, let me know about that. So I'm going to set that to 9.7. And then when that happens, that'll close and shove all of it through the channel here, where it will eventually, once everything is built down here, harmlessly go off the map. So, that's what we're working with there. Eventually, everything will get taken care of. Just takes time. We have a lot more trees to grow. And there seems to be a pretty hefty appetite for raising this land here, which I guess is fine. Not entirely sure what this is going to end up looking like long term, but we do need to grow more trees. And right now, these two foresters up here stand to have a lot more land available to them if we did that, and that would hopefully give us some more wood here. We planted some last time, or episode before, or whatever, but it's going to be a while before that actually comes up. Probably toward the middle end of this episode, we'll be harvesting these trees. Other thing, of course, our big ugly barracks, or bub, I guess we could call this. I'm not totally sold on this design. I still haven't solved the problem of how to get power up. But there's a couple solutions offered in the comments from the ones that I saw. And one of those includes making this one wider, instead of having these large row houses vertically here. Make it one wider so that the whole footprint of the building is 12 by 9. And then you have an extra space in the middle to bring up power. And I think that is probably a pretty good idea. However, consider the following. This was specifically sized to have these swimming pools butt up against each other. That doesn't mean we can't do it this way. But we are going to have a little thinking event. I don't know what I would want to call that, but about how to fit stuff underneath. Because right now this 12 by 8 I thought was going to be a pretty neatly sized area upon which to build. And if we made it one wider, then yeah, that would work in a lot of ways, would work really, really nicely. These large row houses could be replaced with large barracks, which would give us additional capacity. And then at the very top, we would have, well, not the very, very top, but this would have a space in between. We could just have a vertical power shaft come off of that in between these 5x5 metal platforms and connect these two guys very nicely. And yeah, that would probably be a pretty good idea. Well, let's take a look at the inside here. That would open up space in the middle for us to do what we're attempting to do here. It would also solve the problem of how to have this supported on the bottom. So all things equal, I think that's a pretty good idea. And would give us space in the middle of the middle to have these platforms to support overhangs upon which we could build decorations, which people very intelligently pointed out to me would hit all of these at once. Or if you spaced them out properly, would. And they would be kind of hidden from view, which maybe kind of defeats the point of decorations, but at the same time could end up being a very, very good thing efficiency-wise for getting our well-being up. So I'm not opposed to that. I think that might actually work pretty nicely. Just going to have to figure out how that's going to go up here, because right now we've got space in here designed for 1, 2, 3, and a little bit. If I blew this up a little bit more, I could easily get 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. So this full width here would be pretty good, and then I would just have to have 1, 2, 3. You know what? Hey, it's close enough. I've seen enough. Let's do that. Just get all of this unmarked for planting. I'm not going to remove the trees yet, but that's going to be something that we are going to need to go ahead and make happen as best as we can. Yeah, so that's what that would end up looking like. We've got, I always fail to remember where the swimming pool goes, but this basically would go right here, and then this one would go right here. I can't click yet because the support is not in place. I think I did that correctly. No? Did I, no, okay, no, that was right. I just had this, I had this incorrect. These don't need to be removed on this bottom level here, because this is what's going to become the path encircling everything. Okay, that's what we were working with, which means I can actually plant here. So that'll work. That'll work. We're making stuff happen. Slowly, but you know, it's happening. So we'll let them do what they're going to do. This would actually go here. So I guess I can go ahead and let them build that, with the exception of the logs, which I'm going to go ahead and pause this so we don't use all of our logs there before they are cuttable. The question now becomes, how are we going to get power into this? Which, you know, shouldn't be that hard. We just have to make sure that it goes vertically in between the upper and lower level of these. I guess I could just show you. It's easier for me to point to something to say, I can explain this in extreme technical detail. No. I have to make sure it doesn't hit a doorway, but it can hit any of the levels, or any of the... Sheesh. Brain is firing on 0 cylinders today. It can hit any of these little diamonds here, or any of these, but it cannot hit the doorway, because obviously that is a doorway, and it cannot be used as a power point. But the water beaver playthrough can be used as PowerPoint because it gets like 3 frames per second. Ha ha ha. Anyway, moving on. That's going to end up looking pretty nice here. So we have a couple options to support stuff. First is above our paths here, we can place... I'm not going to start building them, but I can place platforms. There we go. And then do 5x1s to hold everything up from both sides. And then we'll obviously have a gap in the middle that we can put platforms on, and then have other overhangs attached to those later. Or we could just do everything from the complete middle, depending on how we want to have stuff set up. I'm not entirely sure what the best option would be. But I do know that no matter what, the entrance to the barracks is going to have to come up somewhere. So what might end up happening is that this ring around the outside, so to speak, is going to have ladders in the corners. Then those ladders would come up right here, well, to the left of this tree, and then go all the way across. And then we have a separate entrance over there. I'm not entirely sure, again, how that's going to work, but we will figure it out. If you think it is ugly, congratulations, you are objectively correct. However, I still think this is cool, so I want to build it. So apologies to your aesthetic sensibilities. We will survive. But, wait, why is this coming out this way now? Oh, it's because I put all this here. Okay, so now I'm flooding the mine. Well, okay, we're not really using this anyway, but we got to be careful before we get a bad tide. That was one of the things I was hoping to avoid, but at least we have a drought coming. If we did not have a drought coming, if we had a bad tide instead, then we would be in some serious stuff. I guess this is the consequence of not having a ton of wood available, because we kind of built a whole bunch of stuff at once and didn't have any regard for future planning. Never a good idea. But we are, hey, we're trying, folks. We're trying to make this happen up here. I guess we're not really having that much of a problem. But it's good to monitor things, so I guess we'll have to keep ourselves as informed as possible. I do think, however, I want to start raising the land here. And we have dirt. I have this excavator paused because I didn't think I was going to need to use a whole lot of dirt. But I believe we're in a situation now where it's going to be substantially beneficial for us to just go ahead and raise the land this way. There is a limit to the amount of irrigation that can occur from our large pool here. And it will be expanded. That is something we're working on. But we just have to be careful about how we're doing this so we don't end up causing additional problems further on down the line. This staircase, I am like 99% sure can go away, but I'm not going to get rid of it until I'm 100% sure that it can. I'm pretty convinced right here in the middle is going to just be platforms for the upper level stuff. It's going to hold decorations and all that nonsense. But again, we got to get there. And remember, we have so little in the way of logs that it's not going to be finished today. Not even close. But we're going to be as ready as we can, because that is the only way to approach this. Just make stuff happen. Do what you can with what you have, and that's it. Now, I was slightly concerned about us not having a whole lot of water, but then I remembered, hey, you got this giant cuboid reservoir thing that you can keep pumping from. And, as you guys pointed out, these water pumps no longer have to be paused because we have the giant reservoir. So I will take all those controls away. Like, the pumps are going to go away, but not right now. There's not really that much of an incentive for us to remove those at this time. So it is just going to be what it's going to be. So the next pressing question that I'm sure you're going to ask is, if you, Royal you being me in this case, if you're going to, asking this question from your perspective, not mine, just so we're abundantly clear, if you're going to have this thing as a 12 by 9 structure that we can have entirely populated on the ground level with swimming pools, how are you going to get water into it if there's a building over this entire thing? So, the question that you have posed is a very good one that I'm not sure I know how to answer without polluting stuff. We can very easily put a little, or one or two of them, little jog here that can have a sluice in the wall and then just shove clean water through here and then shut when there's polluted water. But that would require removing irrigation barriers that would then cause our tree farm to become polluted, which obviously is not an ideal scenario. But I'm not really sure that's going to matter that much. And we're going to have a mechanism, if this is 12 by 9, we're going to have a mechanism to put water in here with the fluid dump anyway. You just have to move it to the side here. And that's not going to be an issue. It's just like the optics of, oh, well, the fluid dump is manually, like, okay. If we're going to have 500 beavers, it doesn't matter. This water is not being consumed, it's just evaporating. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Wait a second. I don't want to demolish this. I definitely don't want to do that. So yeah, I gotta... What did I do these for? Get out of here. The rest of this can go away, but this one do not need to go away. Yeah, that's what we're doing there. If anything, I need to put additional terrain here and here. Yeah, I don't know what my brain was thinking there. Ugh, it happens. Mark that for cutting. And then I can go ahead and unmark all of this mess for cutting. That tree is just about done, and it is. That's done there. And then I do think I want to straighten this out to go directly through here. So let's unplant these trees. Just make this a complete straight shot. Nice and easy. All the way through here. Get a couple of tiles back. Well, more than a couple of tiles. You know what I'm getting at. You know exactly what I'm getting at. I'm going to put some terrain blocks there as well. We are out of dirt, by the way, so this is going to have to get turned back on. which is fine. Oh, hey, these are up and running. So that means these can be prioritized by haulers. These are looking pretty good. That should help us out tremendously. Alright, so now we have an opportunity. We're in a drought. We have another 7 days. We really need to focus on completing the aqueduct before we focus on this, or putting any of the power in place. So that is going to be the most important thing that we do, is get this situated. So, bring that in there. Bring that in there. And then I'm going to have this outside here closed up. And then start to do this bit, and then we're going to have to migrate to the top here, which isn't going to be super hard. And then we're going to have to evaluate how this is going to come down here, and if I have to get rid of these overhangs. All going to be a little bit of trial and error, just the way we like it. Well, the way I like it. I don't know, you might not like it, but that's okay. It's progressing well there. I've got a couple more spaces here to fill in. And once that is... Oh, that is done. Okay. Did they build impermeable floors? They did. These are waterproof. The natural overhangs are. So this whole area should be pretty much good to go. Now, this may be an unpopular thing that I'm about to do, but I'm going to remove this path here. And we're going to build this entire thing as much as we can from the top. I can hear your screaming now. Just know that it fuels me. I will not change my mind. Okay, so those are going to go away there. That path is gone. That is gone. And what we have to do now is put in levees here. Keep in mind that we don't have to be completely insane about this. We can just go up the staircase this way, kind of work our way backwards. So what I was thinking of doing, keep the nubs on the inside, and the outside have all of our power shafts. We also, if we really feel like having parasitic draw constantly on our entire power setup, we can use these flywheels. That the small ones, or the small framed ones, vertical framed ones, etc., do have a -7 HPH when they're being used. This one has -10. If you use the bigger ones, then it does decrease. The overall loss per hour does decrease. And then when you get to the large framed ones, it's -1 per hour, which basically doesn't matter at all because they hold 150,000 apiece. But we are substantially further away from constructing any of these than I think anyone realizes. All of that being said, now that we have the paths out of the way, I can place these things where they are going to be long term, and then judge accordingly for everything. Oh, look how nicely that lines up. Look at that. I don't think I want to put another wheel here. I think we're just going to leave this alone as is. They started bringing stuff over here. No. This is paused. Yeah, that's right. Turn around. Take your wood and go home. So, what I will do, in case we change our minds, this T intersection here is just going to be left as is. I will place, I think right here should be in range. Yeah. Can I go one more back? No, that was actually the perfect location. That's right, because it's a range of 10 from the closest tile, path tile. So they'll build that one piece. The one piece. Then build this. This is going to drive some of you absolutely up the wall. And I'm also sorry and not sorry at the same time. We'll just leave it at that. So the dirt should be coming out of here. Hopefully sometime soon. Do whatever we have to do to make that happen. These trees are going to take a while before they're done, but this corner is actually ready to go now. So I believe... Yeah, because I'm going to have to relocate these foresters too. That's not something we discussed. But they will be relocated. Just not entirely sure where quite yet. Have to have access to a path, so I kind of think it's going to end up being on either side of this mess here. Not entirely sure. But again, we have some time to figure this out. I know this is like a rat's nest of nonsense right here. But we'll get it done. See, we are happily pumping away up here. I think if we had, you know, maybe 12 or 16 of these, we'd run out of water pretty quick. But overall, I think we can be pretty happy with how this has turned out. This swimming pool probably can go away. Honestly, if we're not ever going to have any water come out of the bottom of this, I can fill this in and use this as farmland. And I probably should, the way stuff is going right now. So that would be that whole set of sluices, and that could also go away. Unless we wanted to keep it for emergency situations where we might have to... Well, you know what? No, we wouldn't even need that. Not even a little bit. Not sure how that's a problem. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't plant this as canola like I said it would do last time. But now it is. Yeah, see how quick that was? Again, that has to be planted as canola also. Looking good, looking good. Oh, did they build this? They did. Good job. Good job. I just... I need so many more logs than I have right now, because now I want to construct these large water wheels. I'm wondering if they can reach this from underneath if I have this blocked off over here. I feel like it shouldn't be possible to do it, but I also understand that sometimes weird things happen. So this says... Yeah, too far. Okay. So I was thinking, you know, if they came up these... Not the furniture. They came up the ladder, they stood on this. Ah, no, but if... Ooh, you know what? If it went up one more, let's find out. We're going to learn today. We're going to learn today. Come build this ladder and see if they can stand underneath to construct this. Because even though there's the impermeable barrier in the way, maybe it's going to count it as reachable. I guess we'll find out. Now, I am just sickeningly curious as to whether or not this will work. So let's see what happens. See what happens. Who's got the planks? Alright, who's going to finish it? Thank you. Now the moment of truth. Oh, man. That would have been cool, though. Alright, I've got wood coming in here. I think... See, this is good. That's good. I think realistically we can make this work. We just have to be able to get around to the correct spots here. The way that I had this set up, I know is not really ideal or perfect or even something that has common sense, depending on how you want to look at it. But I think it's going to be fine. We'll just have them come build this. We do have almost 300 logs now, which means I can afford to build one of these. We'll just work our way this way, I suppose. Doing as best as we can. Yeah, they were eager. They were eager to bring logs up here. See, now we actually have these coming back in. So that's probably going to be fine. I've got some trees that have come out here. That's looking good. That can go away. This tree needs to be cut down. That's in range. That's fine. Come on. 43%, and this one's at 71, so it is going to be a while before that's done. But we're making it work. Make sure these get marked for cutting before I forget. Now, what are we waiting on here? Oh, someone to just come finish it. And there we go. That one is done. Which means that next comes this single piece, since I know you guys love this strategy of doing it so much. Now, did we... No, there's still plenty left to suck up. So that's good to see. That one's done. That means it's time for this one. And the saga continues. But now that we know we have an entire good water cycle to get this done, I think it's possible to at least get up to this point. This one also had been started. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 large water wheels. Say that one 5 times fast that you have to build. And we have the wood to do it. We just need to make sure that we don't do anything else dumb. Anything else dumb. Note that I have already acknowledged I have done things that are dumb. Self-awareness is very important, folks. Alright, so this hasn't reached the requisite level yet to flow into the reservoir. It's already open. That's fine. This is finished. And I got one more here. And then we'll get our T intersection, so on and so forth. Come check out individual things a bit later. A whole bunch of this type of stuff. Alright. Meanwhile, I've got 16 vacancies. Even though I have so many things that are still paused. Ah, yes, the mine is still flooded because somebody, that somebody being me, decided this would be a smart way to do things here. It's fine. Go ahead and put this T intersection in. And then I guess we can build the wheel. And just keep this thing going. I think our wood's going to get caught up pretty quick. Once we get the rest of this stuff taken care of. I'm so curious as to how this is going to perform without having an automatic fill thing. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But, yeah, especially because they're not pumping out. This is just... It's got to have a minimum amount of water for the swimming pools to work, but they're also not, on or built, even. But I think this is going to be fine. Alright. Let's go ahead and rip that band-aid off, get that thing built. Because we're going to have to start shoving some water through this pretty soon here. The way that I constructed this isn't exactly going to be winning any awards, I don't think. Purely coincidental, by the way, that this nub here would be directly over a path. But we're going to have to figure out how to reroute power at some point. Make our way through here. Eventually, we'll make it happen. Still got some land over here that's coming in, but now that we have the trees actually bearing, well, not fruit, wood, I suppose, we should be in pretty decent spot. I'm waiting for these. 52%, yeah, that's going to take a while. 81 looking pretty okay. 58 again, going to take a while, but we're not ready to build the apartment thing anyway, so who cares? We'll just move on with our lives here. I know that I can force this to send water off the side so long as I have everything else taken care of. I think it's going to be fine. Hopefully. So, to make that happen, I'm going to have an alternate way of getting over here, which is probably going to end up having to be just removing one of these here And putting in a temporary walkway. I could just remove both of these, honestly. The way that this is set up. Because I have to put in across the outside here. I have to put in a way to make this actually viable. Okay, ladder. I know ladders use a bunch of resources that we probably should be using elsewhere, but it's fine. Get this path out of here. Get this out of here. That. You know the drill. And then, without disconnecting this yet, I can put in all of this mess. That's going to have to be like so, and then that's going to have to be like... not there, not there. Come on. Click. Thank you. They can build this mess, which is going to shove water through here. Well, maybe not a little bit more, but this is going to be the only outlet for a while until it gets down here, so maybe. We'll see. But once I have these outside walls built here, then I guess I will just not click on a beaver. Remove this path to get this boarded up, so to speak, and then send those beavers up here to start building more stuff. The cycle continues. But hey, these are actually rotating. And hey, we have water coming off. Very cool. Very cool. Water coming through here, obviously not generating a ton of power, but... oh, here we go. Here we go. It is, it's really spooling up now. Okay, a little bit less than what we thought we were going to be getting, but also some of it's not making it all the way through, so that's fine. I have to decide if these wheels are going to stay here. I don't think we're going to need them once the entire perimeter of the map is surrounded in the wheels, so that's probably going to be fine to just get rid of those at some point. Yep, still making progress here. That is fine. I've got some more trees to plant, so let's go ahead and do that. Make sure those are marked for cutting. Continue to monitor where our trees are and are not growing. Too far from it. Aha! Okay, well they're supposed to be able to get to that. Well, give them a fighting chance. I'll just give them a couple more paths here. They should be able to build the rest of this mess. And we'll be in good shape to continue things going on here. You know the drill. Power shafts absolutely everywhere. Get this closed up, and we should see these spool up a little bit more. Okay, there's 400. Still a little bit of room to close this up and generate a bit more power. And then what I'm going to be watching for is once everything's coming through this, if this is going to back up and cause flooding. I don't think it will. Up here is pretty high, but it does go down a little bit. And then all of this obviously is fine. So this is ready to go here. All right, let's do this thing. Getting rid of, very carefully, only the paths, not the floors. Alright, so that's done. Now we just have to put in levees here, and then additional ladders to go up the side of the levees. I guess I'm going to let them build that first. Hopefully nobody gets silly-billied here. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But you never know. Sometimes they will surprise you with how dumb they are. Okay, well now we've been marked safe from silly billies. I can put these ladders here and connect this up over the top. Make sure this goes here. And they'll get to do what they want to do for all this. I think this should still be close enough. Oh, also this isn't connected here. I guess that's fine. Alright, so are we having a backup problem? We are not. But we also, I don't think, have all of this going through here. Some of it's going into... Yeah, it's still kind of filling this up. So we got some work to do here still. Slow process, all that. So I think what's going to make the most sense, so I don't bore you guys to death, is to time-lapse a lot of the construction process here. Unless something interesting happens, then I'll stop it, but I will go ahead and have that going right now while we're talking about it, just as soon as we can get everything else nailed down. But yeah, I'm going to try to get a lot of this done before the next drought or bad tide, whatever it is that comes first, and hopefully nothing bad happens. I think we should be okay. Hopefully. We'll see. But we'll go ahead and come out of the time lapse now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end the time lapse there because this has already gone on for quite a long time. But you can see kind of what we're getting at here. Just building this evenly across the outside. Obviously, doing it this way is going to take a while, and I'm sure there's some of you who are like, why are you wasting so much time doing it this way? Do it XYZ way, it's so much better. And yeah, you might be right, but I just kind of want to do it this way. So that's all she wrote on that. We have a couple other things to take care of before we completely go ahead and get out of here. But this is looking like some pretty good progress. Obviously, there's, again, still a long way to go. But we have made some pretty good progress. Yes, I do know I can just build platforms across the entire back here to get this all hooked up. But again, we still don't have a ton of logs. Production hasn't really ramped up to the degree that it needs to just yet. So we're not going to race to get that done. But what I can do is I can go ahead and get this area reconnected appropriately. Now I have a couple more slots on which to plant trees. And it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. We'll go ahead and fill in a little bit more land here. Just because I can. I believe having the land go up here is going to make it not pollutable, hopefully. I mean, this is polluted, but it's not polluted up here, so I think that height difference is probably working in our favor. Hopefully. Hopefully. We can square this corner off and start putting in some additional pools. But I'm going to hold off because they do use materials that I would like to preserve for... Oh, I forgot what the word preserve was. Preserve for building this stuff, which again takes a very large quantity of materials to get going. So that is what it is. I'll go ahead and keep adding this stuff. We're making good progress. But it's one of those things that's just going to take some time. But we have all of this connected together, and it is dispensing all of this fluid into our exit channel quite nicely. And the ones that are connected are making a cool, for right now, about 1400 HP. The number should be a bit higher once this gets completely full, but we're making some really nice progress. I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, you know, things could go a little bit faster, and I could have done things in a little bit more organized way, yes. But I am not unhappy with how this is going. Just got to keep our eye on the prize, do what we can do when we can do it with what we have at that point in time. So, I believe next episode is probably going to be where we start building this big apartment complex. But again, it's going to take a lot of wood that we don't currently have. Just got to keep working. Add little bits at a time and just roll with it. Make sure not to build ourselves into any corners like I am sometimes known to do. And by sometimes I mean quite frequently. That's fine, it's all part of the adventure. If you did something perfectly every time, it would get really boring, wouldn't it? The answer is yes, in case you're following along at home. But I digress. Just gonna put a little bit more here before we say goodbye. And looking at the notes for this episode, we did take care of most of the stuff I thought we should address. But there's one more thing that I didn't do that I probably should go ahead, even though we don't need it right now. It was brought to my attention that there is no direct path between the mine and this smelter and the other ones we got rid of. And so that if you want to get scrap metal from here over to here, you have to go all the way up to here. And then up here and then over. Yeah, so there's no reason for that to be a thing. So even though right now we don't need it, I'm going to go ahead and just do one of these numbers. Yes, I know I could have used overhangs. I'm just going to do it this way because I can. We'll just leave this as it is. And for the sake of future-proofing, I will do multiple single platforms so I can delete this top layer and put something on the bottom if I ever need to. But this was something we really needed to do for a long time, and I didn't address it. But since you guys brought it up, and it is something that needs to happen, we'll just go ahead and have them do that, and then move on with our lives. So, just keep adding these individual pieces one at a time. We got that all cleaned up. This bit will go here. This actually does not need to be a straight... Whoa! I forgot. I had the filter mod. I forgot. I pressed Control F instead of Control something else. But... anyway, this goes to here. Get that taken care of. I've already prepared... what is this, a baking show? Here's one I prepared earlier. No, this is already ready to go once everything is set here, and we should be in really good shape. Of course, there's another wheel that has to go here, but I can't build it until the rest of this is done, because then they're not going to be able to get around it because of how I chose to build this. You know, it's maybe not the most efficient way of building, but it is going to end up looking really clean. And that's what matters. Now, let's see, right here, both these have some extra room, so let's go ahead and just fill this in, because this is land we can use very easily. Bring this up as well. Again, it's only going to give us a little bit in terms of tree building space, but I think it's going to be working. Alright, and I know that it's going to kill some trees. However, probably should have done this the other way, but you know how it goes. Some of you may die. That is a sacrifice I am willing to make. These were literally just planted, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. All that being said, please immediately come build these 2 terrain blocks, I implore you, before further damage occurs. Of course, you know, this stuff's going to die anyway, because that's always what happens. But I tried. Wait. Oh, is it coming back? Is it coming back? We're so back. Oh, I didn't kill a single tree. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. You can't keep getting away with this. Okay. So I feel like at this point we're just about at the point where I just have to say, you know what, we're done. we're gonna come back next time and take care of the rest of this. So that is what we will do. Although I will continue building this while we have our acknowledgements and stuff continue. I appreciate you watching these videos very much. It is not possible for me to keep doing this without your support. So you guys make it directly possible through watching, commenting, etc. on the videos, and then Beer Boosters, of course, directly financially contributing to the longevity and continued ad-free, well, sponsor-free existence of the channel. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The only sponsorships I ever want to take on this channel are people who want to pay me to play really good games, and the developers for Timberborn did it at the very beginning of this series. I'm incredibly thankful for that opportunity. It's made a huge difference in my ability to continue doing this stuff and continue to invest possibly unreasonable quantities of time in the process of playing video games. But hey, I'm not going to be upset about it. That was a fun time, and it was great getting to work with those folks. But I don't want to sell you VPNs. I don't want to sell you meal replacement shakes or microwave meals or whatever else people are selling in sponsorships or whatever. I want to come here to play games and enjoy the community that we have, because people overwhelmingly in the comments are always supportive and just enjoying the community and not focusing on stupid stuff, because we already have enough of that going on. I just like getting to come here and enjoying everyone's presence and enjoying each other. That's what it's about. That's what community is about, and that's what I want this channel to be about. So appreciate you keeping everything positive, supportive, and just enjoying the process of playing the Beaver game. So we'll see you in the next one. This series will continue on Monday. Of course, we have Water Beavers tomorrow, and then Roller Coaster Tycoon on Sunday. But hey, guess what? Guess what? These are all connected, and it's making over 4,000 HP. And once this is connected around the corner here, we're going to be making some serious power, folks. Look at each of these are making 600. Really? Wow. That's some fast moving water. But yeah, again, that's it. Have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.